Hello, and welcome to our live Making Black History in the Moment. My name is Brittany Baker, and I'm the manager of marketing and communications at the National Alliance for Public Charter Schools. Thank you for joining us today. And as we celebrate Black History Month, we are amplifying voices in the education space. And I'm thrilled to introduce a dynamic school leader. He is the Academy Director at Friendship Southeast Elementary and Middle School, located in Washington, D.C. Please join me in welcoming Mr. Garry Cameron. Hi, Mr. Cameron. How are you today?
Hey, Ms. Baker, I'm doing well. Thank you for having me today. It's an honor to be here with the National Alliance for Public Charter Schools. I'm here to have fun today. Share my experiences. And just be great.
Awesome, awesome. Okay, fun fact: we went to college together.
Viking Pride.
Yes, Viking Pride. We both graduated from Elizabeth City State University, ECSU. Elizabeth City State University is located in Elizabeth City, North Carolina. So Viking Pride. So, Mr. Cameron, at ECSU, you actually majored in education. So, what inspired you to first pursue education, and how has your college experience shaped who and where you are today?
Well, initially, I wasn't an education major. I was initially a psychology major. But my mom, it's like she paid out of pocket the first year. She said that wasn't happening again. And so I remember not wanting to leave Elizabeth City. So I was just walking around in the hall and I saw a poster that said, do you want to go to school for free? And I said, I do. Are you a Black male? I am. Are you interested in teaching? But I went back to the first question, do you want to go to school free? And I said, well, I think I could do, I can do teaching. And so I just remember, just having my mom being one of my earliest teachers. And she has daycares and I've always been the oldest kid and I've always been helping people with homework. So I said, I guess this could be an extension of that. And so I just leaned into that and chose middle grades education with double concentrations in math and science.
Wow. Just last school year, you were teaching math at a different friendship location, and now you're serving as a school leader. What has that transition been like for you?
Oh, I'm not going to lie. That transition has been a little difficult. I think you go from managing to about 30 kids in your classroom, about 60, 65 on a team to manage, and just being responsible for like 3 other adults on your team, to managing over 400 students and about 40 staff members. So that math is different. And so it's been challenging and to say that, it's just a lot more moving pieces than just what you normally control. But I think it's also been rewarding seeing that, we work together with people. You can do amazing things for children. And so we're on that, trajectory where, it's been a little rough, but we're smoothing it out now. And we're able to focus and really provide the children with what they need.
And I think too, it also gives you like that unique perspective coming from a teacher, and then also just leading and being able to just also lead from that space.
Yes.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure that just it's amazing, and that really helps too.
It is, and I think that's one thing that helps me connect with teachers is just recently leaving the classroom, right. And so knowing what it is to teach through a pandemic, teach after a pandemic, and so that has been helpful with teachers for me to provide them with those, for us to make those connections.
Let's talk about what a typical day looks like for you as the Academy Director. What does it look like?
Well, a typical day starts out with like where you guys just came in at. I have morning duty, so I'm ushering the traffic to make sure that everybody's crossing the street safely and that carpool is going smoothly. So it starts with that until about 8:15 because I have to wait till everybody gets in. And then I'm immediately going around the building, just speaking to every classroom, just checking and saying good morning, make sure our scholars are doing well, just checking, make sure our teachers are doing well, because sometimes, we have to do these SEL check-ins. So that's like my first bit of work, is to make sure I go around and just check in with people that need to be checked in with. So my students who need a little bit more love, checking with them, and my teachers who also need a little bit more love, we want to check in with them as well. So I use that first bit of the day to check in. And then from there, I'm on to observations inside the classroom. We have to be able to inspect what we expect, right? So we're inside the classrooms, making sure that teachers are delivering high quality instruction, students are having fun, they're learning. It's an amazing place to work and learn. Throughout that, there can be other variables that I didn't plan for the day. So a parent can come up for the day and want to talk. And then, so my thing is to always service the parents. So at any given moment, I'll change my schedule to be able to service them, because they help us serve our children. So I'll dabble into that. Then there's lunch duty, of course, that you get to have. It's always pleasant at lunch or recess duty, where you get to see the kids in their rarest and truest form. And so we use those times to build relationships, though. This is the time where it's not as structured, and so we want to checking with students, seeing what you're doing, if you're playing a game this weekend, how many points you scored last night, if you had a game. So those type of things that we like to just check in with during lunchtime. And then the end of the day, also filled with some more observations, also meetings, so a lot of meetings, because you have to now on the other side of it from being a teacher is like, it was like, oh, we dreaded having these meetings. But now as an administrator, I see why we kind of needed these meetings. So has also provided me a different perspective from that lens. And then we go right back outside the duty again. And then we are doing duty to clear out the rest of the day. And then I have academy director hours. So like if people want to be able to come check in for like between they leave from 3:45 to 4:15 every day, I usually use that time to get to check in with teachers, see how their day went, see if I observe something, it's the time also to check in. And then from that, I have a reflection time. So from like 4:15 to 5 every day, I don't really leave here until I do a reflection of my day. Can I try to use that because I know that helped me as I was going through the education program, like really writing reflections every day to figure out like, what is it that you're doing? What was your impact today? What was the intent or what was the impact or the intent for the day? And so I do a lot of reflection to try to come back and get it right the next day. Because I know that some days I leave here and I know I don't feel like I've served everyone the best. But then there's also a thing in where doing that reflection helps me to celebrate my small wins. So, and then using that to be able to build on to bigger wins is definitely been helpful for me in my role.
Wow, just listening to your day, I'm in awe. Just a full day, full meaningful day.
Yes.
So while you were teaching, you co-founded a group, Friendship for Change. Can you tell us more about that program?
Yeah, Friendship for Change is a grassroots organization that was able to amplify all our key stakeholders in friendship. So we're talking about teachers, students, parents. And this really started after the unjust killings of Breonna Taylor and George Floyd. And so we wanted to make sure that this didn't just happen to be a one-time thing. So we were able to, we were founded on like being able to have direct action, community engagement, and long-term sustainability to help drive our organization. So it's been great because we've been able to change the curriculum within our organization. We've been able to look at different vendors and hire more Black vendors within our organization. And we also actually celebrate, Juneteenth as a national day off within our organization. So those were some of the things that we were able to come from it, and some more things that are we're working towards in the near future that came from Friendship for Change. But it was an opportunity for us to be able to be a catalyst inside the community and be able to bring the school and the community together to figure out like how do we get past this, or how do we put our stake and claim into what we want to see for our people.
Nice. So you've been a part of the Friendship family for a while now. Can you tell us a little bit more about how your journey started at Friendship?
Yes. So my journey at Friendship started, I want to say 2011. So I taught in North Carolina for 3 years, and I just knew that I wanted to, and my 5-year plan was to either be in North Carolina or Maryland. And so I spent my 3 years there, and I was like, well, it's time for a change. And so I was like, okay, let's come up to the DMV. And so I remember coming up to Friendship Public Charter School for the first time as a summer school teacher. And I just came up here, and it was an amazing experience. I was like, this is where I want to be at. The kids here look like me, the people look like me, and this is just where I want to be, right here in the Chocolate City, right, doing this work. And so that inspired and motivated me that summer to just pack up and just leave North Carolina and come here. So I remember moving here, and I wasn't even sure if I was going to have a job, but I know I was talking to different people within the organization. And so I was like, this guy told me that I'm supposed to be here. And so then I just stayed from there. And then from there, I was a teacher at our high school. And so we're able to do great things. I was actually teacher of the year over there at that school as well. And then I also served as teacher of the year for Blow Pierce last year. And so it's one of the things where like I've been the only person within the organization to be nominated at 2 different campuses, because I've moved around to multiple different campuses.
Congratulations.
Thank you. Within our organization. And I also think that allowed me to see the K-12, depth of that. And so now my background, I can really say that I know K to 12 pretty well from doing those moves. I served also as a math coach during my time here. That was also very engaging and enlightening because I want students to be better math students, and I want teachers to be better math teachers, right? I want people to love math because I understand it's a universal language, and that shuts our people out of a lot of jobs and opportunities. And so in that position, I was able to, inspire people to become better math teachers and work with students who had challenges and difficulties inside of math and getting them to understand that you do actually like math. You actually love math. It's just the way in which you are presented to math. And so just, being able to bring in everybody's unique thoughts and experiences has been amazing. Like I've served as a 5th grade teacher, mostly 7th grade teacher. I've taught algebra honors in high school. And I've served into various different positions, but friendship has afforded me a lot of opportunities, and I can definitely say that I'm thankful. They've actually gave me some teacher leader opportunities as well to be in different organizations like New Leaders, National Academy of Advanced Teacher Education. So they were able to, I just didn't get where I am today in education with all these accolades. Friendship actually provided a lot of resources for me to get to where I am today. And I'm forever grateful and thankful to Friendship Public Charter School for investing in teachers, because that's what they do. They invest in teachers to make sure that students can get everything they can possibly get.
Wow. And I think you pretty much answered this, but I was going to ask, how does the charter school model benefit you as a teacher and a leader? Any more to just add to that?
I think, the resources that we can get and the partnerships that we can have. And I think just more so recently, my school applied for a Verizon Learning Lab with Arizona State University. And we were actually awarded 2 days ago with that learning lab. So in our new school that's going to be created, we'll have a new Verizon partnership innovation learning lab for our students to be able to tap into the new 21st century in technology.
Yay.
And so we're looking for all those opportunities that we talked about that include math and STEM and STEAM to help allow our students to tap into other fields that they normally wouldn't be able to tap into. So the resource that we're afforded and that we're given here at Friendship Public Charter School definitely changes students' lives, because I know that if I had this, I don't know if I would have been in education, but I would have been somewhere in STEAM doing something great because of what you see students get on a daily basis. You're like, man, if I had that. And then so for me, it's just to make sure that we inspire that. We bring people in to talk to students about different career fields and career paths. And Friendship is very, very big and open on that, to bring in speakers. I think we even have a STEAM cafe that we've started that brings in different people in the STEAM field to talk to students and get them excited about their different careers. So I can't say enough about friendship.
Okay, what is one of the top lessons you've learned in your years of education?
I think it's simple, but I would say every day is a new day. Because I think that, we try to sometimes, if you hold on to grudges in education, your job will be much harder and you won't make the impact that you want to make. Right. So our children could do something one day and they come back the next day as if it never happened the day before. And so whereas, you kind of get bothered by that, you're like, that's probably what you need to be able to take from children, is that today's a new day, give people a new chance, give people grace, because things happen within people's lives. So people might be upset, and they're not necessarily upset at you, but they may be upset at the situation and it comes out as you. So I just try to say that every day is a new day, and that you're able to make it and do what you need to do on a daily basis.
That's really good advice. Honestly, that sounds like life advice. What is your hope for students?
My hope for students is that they take advantage of things that we're putting in front of them, right? So I want to make sure that once we have the lab, that students are engaged in the lab and don't want to go home and stay here, and understand that this is the mini lab that they're working on now, but they can also work in a bigger lab later on and make these changes and see, instead of just seeing sprinkles of Black history, right? We're going to be able to see everybody have a part in Black history where they all can play, and they've all been able to take on jobs and responsibilities that they never thought they've had before, but they feel empowered. So they come to us, we empower them, and then they take over.
And what are some ways the community or people watching can help support Friendship Southeast?
Well, I think, one thing that we're focusing on right now is definitely SEL and the mental health So we are, we're always looking for resources that can strengthen our community within the within the mental health field. So I know that there's a large problem for our community right now. So definitely resources around there. We will look for people that are engaged in those STEAM fields to come in and interact and engage with our scholars, because they have a lot to offer, and they are pretty dope once you get to know them. And I will also say time, right? If you have time, and resources to be able to come on out and to develop our teachers as well. I think that when we want our teachers to be able to talk about these STEAM experiences, if our teachers haven't had these STEAM backgrounds, then how do we get them to inspire the next generation to engage in STEAM? So being able to have professional development for our teachers as well.
Exactly. And it's extremely meaningful to have Black male educators, as they are underrepresented in the education space. What does making Black history in the moment mean to you?
I think to that first part of the question, right? I think it is important that we are needed. Black men are needed within the school systems. For me, I think also I made the change to become a leader, because doing some research and doing some work within my organization of National Black Male Educators, NABME, we talked about, in order to retain Black teachers, we need to have Black leaders. So one reason why I stepped into this role this year was to make sure that I was able to inspire the next generation and keep more Black males within the field, so that they could do great things like I'm doing within the organization. And I also have to say that I want to, thank my ancestors for paving the way for us to even get to where we're at today and fighting for education. I just think that I just want to pick up the baton and keep going, right? I want to be able to knock down walls. I want us to be able to be seen in every single room. And so that is my life dream, is to be a connector. My students want to be able to learn about something in China. Let me go ahead and find the person you need to talk to, so that you can make that connection. But I don't necessarily see myself, as making Black history. I'm just a part of the Black history. And what I need to do is just do what I am supposed to do, and inspire this next generation, so that Black history is not something that's just sprinkled in one time a year, but it's something that's thought about throughout.
Absolutely.
The whole time.
Well, thank you so much for chatting with us today. It was a pleasure having with you. Having a conversation with you, having you on with us today. Garry Cameron, Academy Director at Friendship Southeast Elementary and Middle in Washington, D.C. I'm Brittany Baker, and on behalf of the National Alliance, thank you so much for joining us today.